What is up, you guys? Thank you for tuning in to today's video. I ain't gonna lie to you guys, but I've been procrastinating to start this all day because it's hot outside. But I decided to just do it because I'm really excited for this to finally get done. So let's get right into it. As you guys see in the title, today we're gonna be upgrading my brakes on the Lexus. We're gonna be upgrading the brakes and we're gonna be throwing on some LS400 calipers, right? So to make the things look nice, I actually painted the calipers. If you guys seen my last video, you guys seen like a little sneak peek. And if you guys have been following me on Instagram, which you guys should be, if you're not, go follow me. I'll put it right here. I posted like a couple pictures. I think I posted like one picture or something like that. So I posted like one picture of the calipers on my Instagram of me painting them. Painting them was like a 3-day project because I kept on having to go to work. So that's why it took me so long to paint them, but I finally got them done this morning. So let me show you guys the final product.
Here you guys go. So here's the calipers. Like you guys know, I originally planned on painting them purple, but they didn't have any kind of purple in the brand of paint that I wanted. Of course, I went with the VHT paint, and this is actually the flame-proof paint. So hopefully that helps with the whole calipers getting hot and stuff, and it doesn't start chipping. But something tells me that this still will chip and might melt the paint. I don't know, something is just telling me that it's not gonna work. But I made sure that I got the flame-proof paint. Like right here, this is the clear coat. I got the VHT flame-proof satin clear coat, and yeah, it's pretty nice. As you can see, they're pretty shiny. Like, they're way shinier than I thought it would be. It says it gives it a protective finish, it's chip resistant, and it's for all high heat applications, so hopefully that worked fine. I threw the paint bottle away, but I'll find a picture online. I'll put it like right here to show you guys what kind of paint and what kind of color it is. I think it's something like rusted copper or something like that. For the primer, because I had to do primer. For the primer, I used the Duplicolor primer. It's the one that's saying that it could take temperatures up to like 500 degrees, and I'll put that right here too, so you guys can see what I used. And yeah, I think they came up pretty good. There is some chipping because when I turned it on its face and stuff, so there is a little bit of chipping, but I didn't expect this to come out perfect. And yeah, but overall I just love the color. Like, the color's super nice.
So as you can see on the calipers right now, there's no brake pads or the pins or that back plate on it. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna bring the stuff out. I'm gonna bring the rotors and the brake pads out so I could assemble the caliper. Well, assemble the pads and everything inside the caliper. You guys know what I mean.
All right, so here are the brake pads, and here's all the little pins and stuff. So I'm just gonna be adding all of these to the calipers to get them ready to be put on.
All right, so the next thing that I'm gonna do, you don't really have to do everything in the order that I'm doing it, but the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the brake lines on first, because I wanna get those like brake lines in as soon as possible so I don't have a lot of, brake fluid dripping. So I'm gonna put the brake lines in now so they can be ready to hook up when I put the calipers on.
All right, so for the brake lines, I went with the StopTech IS300 steel braided brake lines. Like I said, everything's gonna be in the description, so you can find the link to all these parts that I'm showing you guys. I got these, they were about $45. They feel like they're pretty good quality, so I'm pretty excited. From what I read, it said that upgrading your brakes is cool and all, but if you ain't get the steel braided lines, then you really didn't do nothing. So hopefully this actually does make the difference. The only difference between these and the stock ones is that this bolt right here, I think on the IS calipers and the LS calipers, this bolt right here is actually a 14mm. But StopTech sends you a 12mm, but it still fits perfectly fine. So yeah, that's the only difference. So let's just throw these on right now.
All right, so for the people that don't know, the way you're gonna do this is StopTech, well, any brake line brand that's gonna send you brake lines, I'm sure they're gonna give you the same thing. You get 2 washers, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna put 1 washer over this bolt. Come on, get on there, like that. And then you're gonna take the bolt with the washer on it, put it through here, and then you're gonna take the second washer and put it on the other side, like that. That's all you gotta do. And then you put it in there like this. And I might have to adjust it a little bit when I get the caliper on the rotor, but I'll worry about that later. It's not gonna be that hard to adjust it, so I'm just putting it anywhere really right now. But yeah, that's all there is to it. That's how you hook up the line to the caliper.
One of the other things you guys might have to worry about, and when I'm saying this, I'm like speaking to the people that have never done brakes in their life. So one thing you might have to worry about is pressing the pistons back, because sometimes they might be all the way out, so you might have to push them back. Luckily me, I don't have to worry about that. It goes right in perfectly fine. So, ooh, that looks sexy, man. Woo, I like that. But yeah, mine go right in perfectly fine, so I don't have to press the pistons or anything like that.
So for the next part, I'm gonna actually be getting into the parts that you actually need to be able to do this conversion.
First things up, you're gonna obviously need the LS400 calipers. The calipers and the brake pads and all that good stuff. You're gonna need the lines. You could go with the IS300 lines, they work fine. I'm pretty sure the LS should work good too, but anybody that knows about this, correct me if I'm wrong. But these are the obvious things. And you're gonna need the LS400 rotor, not the IS300. You're gonna need an LS400 rotor. Now, the major things that you're gonna need is right here. So these are the RCA spacers. These are Megan. I think these are Megan Racing, because usually Megan makes the blue ones. So yeah, these are Megan spacers. I will put the link to these in the description as well. You're gonna need these. It comes with 2. And since you're gonna be adding that space, you're gonna need extended bolts, but Megan gives them to you with them. I don't see why they wouldn't. But yeah, so this is something that you're gonna need. And like I said before, it's gonna be in the description. And then after that, you're gonna need these adapters that are right here. So they should come with 4. One right here, one right there, and then same place on the other ones. Basically, this is so you could use the same bolt threading size from the IS300 on these calipers. So what you do, you take these pieces and then you thread them inside here, and they come out like that. Now you're able to use the same bolts and you won't have any problems because the threading will be the same for the caliper brackets that are on the IS300. You can make it work without these, because what people do is, I don't know which part, but they shave down one of these parts. I don't know if it's this part right here or that part right there. I don't know which part it is, but I'm sure you can find a video on YouTube. So all I got to do is just shave it down and then it'll fit. But I didn't want to do that, so that's why I have these.
All right, so now that we have all of that stuff out the way, let's get into actually installing everything.
Okay, so the wheel is off, but I actually forgot that I had spacers on. I'm gonna have to have my little brother step on the brakes while I try to break these spacers off.
One eternity later.
All right, you guys, so we are back. I know that felt like, what, not even half a second, but believe it or not, this is 5 days later, man. 5 freaking days later that I've been fighting with this thing right here. All because a lug nut got stuck on my wheel spacers, and then the next day I actually went to my job and I got the one that got stuck off, and then after I got that one off, another one got stuck on the other side, and then that's what took up like the 5 days to get done. And trust me, I tried everything. Well, not everything, but I tried a lot. But I knew there was one person that could help me out to take this thing out, and I knew it was Zane. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, which you guys should be following me, because you guys get to see things before everybody on YouTube does, you would have seen that Zane took out that bolt, and that's why we're here now. We finally could get these brakes on, and I'm super excited. But first, let me show you the damage that we did if you didn't see it on Instagram yet.
You see this? Bam! We had to cut that thing out. I know this is bad, but trust me, the spacer is still usable. It's not in the best shape, but it is usable still, because you know we got it bolted on these 4 sides and the wheel still fits flush. But yeah, man, we had to put some work on this thing, and of course in the process we had to cut the stud also, but we got that swapped out fine, so we're all good.
Okay, so like you guys seen in the previous clips, we got the calipers, we got the pads and the pins in, we have the brake lines in. So now it's time to get to work on these. I actually have to wait for my little brother to get home so he could put his foot on the brake so I could take off the spacers. I could ask my grandma to do it, but she's just doing her own thing over there. But yeah, so my little brother should be home any minute now, so I'm just gonna have him step on the brakes, and then I'm gonna be able to take the spacers off, and then that's when I'll be able to take the rotor and the caliper off. All right, my brother's finally home. I actually had to go pick this dude up from school since my sister forgot about him. All right, spacer off, let's go. All right, so I'm just gonna do one thing at a time. So I'm just gonna finish off this side and show you guys how everything's done. And then after I'm done with this side, then off camera when the video's over, then I'm gonna do the other side myself. So, you know, just to save time.
First things first, we're gonna take off the caliper. And then once we take off the caliper, that's gonna allow us to take off the rotor. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the caliper sitting on like a bucket or something right here, so it could still be connected so I'm not spilling brake fluid. Then I'm gonna hook up the new rotor and the new caliper to the hub, so then I could just detach the brake line from up here and then just stick the new one in, and then we're good. All right, before I start taking off the rotors and everything, I want to give a special shout out to my girlfriend for buying me all these tools. This has to be one of the best anniversary gifts that I've ever got, because I desperately needed these tools. And yeah, Beth, she got me all this. And take out the wrenches here, and these right here, you know, one of those ratchet wrenches, I guess, but like the best gift that I've ever gotten. So thanks, Riga. All right, so first things first, we got to take off the caliper. So we're going to take off both of the caliper bolts. They're size 17. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that right now. But I'm not gonna take them off completely because I just realized that I forgot my bucket. So I'm just gonna crack them open and then get a bucket, then I'll take them out completely. All right, got the top crack loose, top for the bottom. Whew. This is tough. Come on, please don't strip the bolt. After some struggling, I got that bolt loose. So now I'm gonna go find a bucket so I could let the caliper rest on while I do everything else that I have to do. Slide off the caliper. Boom. It's heavy, but not as heavy as the LS calipers. Wow, fail. Have that sit right here, just like that. And then rotor comes right off. Now that I have all this exposed, right now would be the perfect time to take out the 2 bolts for the lower ball joints. And then we could put in our RCA spacers. And this should be really easy to do since I got a breaker bar. So I'm so happy I spent that $35 because this thing really comes in handy. Oh, this thing's taking forever to get out. All right, first bolt is out. I was on to the second one. Bolt number 2 is out. You guys see right there, the spacer is gonna be going right on top of the ball joint like that. And yeah, that's all there is to it. So let me show you guys how to do that. So there's these things right here. I don't know exactly what they're called. So they have them here too. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the side that doesn't have them on, and you're gonna sit them right on top like that. Yeah, you're gonna fit them right on top like that. That's where these extended bolts, they're gonna go through the bottom and like that. So that leaves enough thread for it to hook on to the steering knuckle. So that's how you install the spacers basically. So then I'm gonna be bolting these back up, and then I'll get right back to you guys. Here's the spacers right there. That's how they look like when they're on the car. Make sure they're on there tight and make sure they're on there flush. You know, you don't want any mishaps. So yeah, man, just make sure that they're all the way down, make sure they're tight, and make sure everything's good. All right, so now it's almost time to put the calipers on. So before we do that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this piece off, and I'm gonna cut that piece off right there. That will make sure that the caliper fit perfectly. And I know a lot of people say that, you know, you got to cut this whole lip out too, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna hammer this back. That's it. And yes, I am gonna be wearing goggles this time. All right, I got these on deck. All right, now that's done. Now it's for the good stuff. Now it's time to put on the rotors. But of course, before you do that, you gotta hit it with some brake cleaner. I wanna let you guys know that the direction that you guys put these in does not depend on these slots right here. It actually depends on the vents that are inside, the way that these are directioned. And since mine are straight, it doesn't matter which way I put the rotors in. Sorry, I'm like really out of breath because I'm trying to beat the clock because it's starting to get dark. All right, now that we got the rotor on, now it's time for the main event, the LS400 calipers. We have the left caliper. Right now it's gonna fit the
Calipers on. Remember, you have the adapters here, and that's what's gonna make the caliper fit on the bracket. Hold that at the bottom. All right, so right now we have our caliper and our rotor on, and I gotta say this thing is looking nice as hell right now. Like, I'm really liking how this looks, and I'm happy I chose this burnt copper color. I think it looks real nice with the gray, of course. Now it's time to get to this right here, which is the brake line. So when you put on the caliper, you also have to make sure that you tighten the bolt for the brake line also. It's a 12mm. Well, that's what Stop Tech sends it with. If you're going to be using the stock bolt, then it's going to be a 14mm. Make sure that you tighten this down and make sure you have it at the right angle so the line will lead right up to here. Alright you guys, so it looks like I'm gonna have to use the stock lines for now because I'm having issues taking the 10mm nut off of the hard brake line. So like basically what I gotta get is the line wrenches, you know, the wrenches that have like the open end on them so they can fit over lines. So I'm gonna have to get one of those so I can take them off. But for now, I'm just gonna, because you know I got the whole caliper and like rotor on, so I'm not gonna take them off and put everything back just because of the lines. So I'm gonna make sure that I get the wrench so I can get the steel braided lines on, and then we should be good after that. But other than that, that's how you install the calipers. That's how you convert your IS300 from the stock calipers to the LS400 calipers. Give you guys a little look. So that's what they're looking like right now. I'm excited to feel the difference in the brakes and everything. So yeah, man, I really hope that it does make a difference. It just sucks that I'm not gonna be able to use the, you know, steel braided brake line at first, but I should have those on by tomorrow. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys for the next one. I'm out.
Deep down inside, I know you screaming at yourself like you can cry me a river, hope inside I catch a mate. Sad the last time a catfish, the one that got the bait. No shots taken, keeping it blatant. When my heart was filled, yours seemed to be vacant. One thing that I learned in this world of deceit, some folks gonna be loyal.